My name is Walter Sheldon. I am the last archivist of unresolved inheritance cases. These files were closed by the courts, but not by the truth. Have you ever wondered what the true price of a grudge is? For Brett Carr, the answer was exactly $11 million. This isn't a Hollywood thriller. This is Court Protocol number 2010-4589, a real legal battle that sent a shiver down the spine of every heir in America. A story where a mother's last breath became a son's financial execution. Take a good look at this face, Gale Posner. She wasn't just a socialite. She was the daughter of the legendary tycoon, Victor Posner, a man who built a multi-billion-dollar empire on steel and grit. Gale grew up in a world where love was often measured in stock options and trust funds. She had everything money could buy, but she died deeply unhappy, surrounded by people she paid to care. And this is her son, Brett, a man who thought he knew his mother. He was wrong. But the real star of our investigation today is Conchita, a tiny Chihuahua who became wealthier than 99% of the people on this planet. Conchita didn't just have a gold collar. She had a life most humans dream of. We're talking about a dog with her own bedroom, a full-time chef, and staff who addressed her as Miss Conchita. You might ask, how can an animal leave a human being with absolutely nothing? The answer is hidden in a document where a silent killer was waiting. Clause number 7, a legal, ticking time bomb. Gale lived in a Miami mansion worth $8 million. No, those marble walls were freezing. Her relationship with Brett had turned into a desert. It's a classic tragedy. A mother convinced her son only loves her for her bank account, and a son who, out of pride or pain, slowly stops calling. And in that vacuum of silence, the vultures arrived, caregivers, assistants, and lawyers. They became her family because they were the ones there to listen for a price. They fed Conchita black caviar while Brett was being erased from the family tree. When Gale died, the will was unsealed like a grenade. The dogs got an $11 million lifestyle. The staff got millions. Brett, he got a big, fat zero. But he didn't stay quiet. Brett hired a team of legal sharks to prove Gale was incapacitated. He claimed the staff had staged a hostile takeover of her mind, using drugs and isolation to rewrite her reality. This wasn't just a lawsuit. It was a war for the Posner legacy. In court, the diaries were the soaking gun. Brett didn't call again. Today, Conchita was my only comfort. To the jury, Gale sounded like a broken woman, not a crazy one. The defense played her words like a violin, painting Brett as the cold, distant son who only showed up when the bills were due. Brett stood his ground, pointing to her heavy medication. He said she was a puppet, but he didn't know. The puppeteers had one last trick. Right at the climax of the trial, the lead defense lawyer stood up. He didn't yell, he just said, "Your Honor, let us turn our attention to clause number 7. In legal circles, this is the in terrorem clause, the no contest trap. It's a psychological masterpiece. Gale had left Brett a mercy gift of $1 million, but only if he stayed silent. If he challenged the will and lost, he'd forfeit every penny. Brett took the bait. He gambled for the 11 million, and he lost it all. He walked out of that courtroom not just as a grieving son, but as a man who had just paid $1 million for the privilege of losing. While Brett was processing his ruin, Conchita was living her best life. A staff of 7 cared for 3 dogs in an 8,000 square foot mansion. This sounds absurd, almost funny, until you realize something important. The staff were the ones actually controlling the money. They used the dogs as a shield to live like royalty themselves. They won. The son lost. And the law protected the dogs. Why does this matter to you? Because clause number 7 is becoming a standard tool for the wealthy to control their families. From the grave, it's a way to silence the truth. Gale Posner's last act wasn't an act of love. It was a final strike. Don't let a document be the last thing you say to the people you love. Gale's story is just the tip of the iceberg. Somewhere in the archives, there lies a case about 3 lines scribbled on a dirty napkin that a judge ruled more powerful than a notary's seal. A story of identical twins, where one stole the other's identity, and a safe in a dark basement that opened only to the sound of a childhood lullaby. In the next video, a case where an inheritance had 2 identical faces. 2 twin brothers. One is dead. The other decided to become him and take everything. He fooled the banks, the lawyers, even facial recognition systems. But there was one thing he couldn't fake: memory. The memory of an old nanny who knew the truth hidden behind the smiles of 2 identical boys. Don't miss the investigation. The twins, who is the real heir? Hit subscribe and that bell icon right now. Take care of your loved ones, and always read the fine print, especially clause number 7. I'll see you at the next investigation.